You are watching All Things Real Estate and More with Ann-Riley Caldwell, with a brand new episode on Game Plan for Sellers.
I'm Allison, and this is Ann-Riley Caldwell.
That's right.
Good to see you again today.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah. So in our last episode, we talked about a game plan for buyers and sort of mapped that out because you love sports.
I do.
Yeah. And you think everyone should have a game plan.
That's right.
And so kind of rolling right along, let's talk about a game plan for sellers.
Yeah. So on the selling side, I like to look at it as one of the first times that we get together and meet, kind of the pregame huddle. We're talking about the why, because anybody who's watched other podcasts know that I love to find out the why behind what people are trying to accomplish.
Okay.
So we're talking about strategy, we're talking about timing, we're talking about whys, and ultimately we're also talking about price. So one of the things that a lot of people like to do is go look at Zillow's estimates to see what their house might be worth. It's a starting point. It's probably not the greatest starting point. Sometimes they're accurate, but they also can be up to 30% or more inaccurate, both high and low. So it's really hard until you have a professional come out and show you what we call comps or comparable properties that have sold, preferably in your neighborhood or as close as possible to your neighborhood within 3 months, preferably no more than a year. And we really look at those, and we also compare conditions of property and locations of property, and we really dig in on the details. It's really difficult to know what a property is truly worth. One of the things that I do, not to give away all my secrets, you have to call me, but one of the things that I do that I haven't heard that a lot of other people do is I actually, if they're willing to go, I take sellers to go look at other homes in their neighborhood that are on the market. Because as we've talked about from a buyer perspective, pictures don't always tell the true story about a home.
Sure.
And the same thing when you're trying to do comps and you're trying to look at conditions of homes and sizes of rooms and layouts and things like that all make a difference in what buyers are going to be interested in and ultimately pay for something. Taking them into the real world of seeing what their competition is looking like makes a huge difference. I mean, usually when I talk to sellers, they're like, well, why can't I get $315,000 for my home? I'm like, let's go look at the one around the corner that's priced at $300 and compare. And usually I don't have to say a whole lot after that.
Okay, good.
Because the reality of walking in and seeing a completely rehabbed home versus their home that maybe hasn't been rehabbed,
right,
all of a sudden the light bulb goes off all by itself.
Yeah. And it may not be what you want to hear, but you ultimately want to sell your house.
Right.
So pricing it at the best price point for your house, what it's actually worth, is the best strategy to get that house sold and then move you into your next house, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason you're moving, and that goes back to the why. And so the time frame around that will really, some people just throw it on the market and see what happens. We're going to be talking about whether or not to rehab certain things, and if so, to paint certain things, curb appeal. We're really going to be looking at the aesthetics of the home. And some people don't have any money to put into that, and that's fine. We're going to sell it as is. The second part is taking the pictures and, ultimately getting it on the MLS for offers to start coming in. So there, we're working on the marketing strategy. We're having pictures taken, potentially video taken. We're talking about how to share it on social media. I'm having things created that I can share, that they can share. Again, I have a multi-step marketing program that I would go over with people in person and really talk about what's going to work for that particular property, and how we're going to implement that strategy and what that timing is going to look like. So then at that point, we're starting to get offers in. We're adjusting if we're not getting offers in that the seller is liking. So kind of at halftime, we are discussing the initial feedback, any offers that are coming in, and basically in the third quarter, we're getting something under contract. So there, the title company is working on behalf of the seller. We're actually negotiating in the third quarter, and we're getting that contract in place. So then in the fourth quarter, we're under contract, things are moving forward. So now the inspection period, appraisers are coming out, things are happening. I'm checking in with all the different parties to make sure that everything's moving along at as quick a pace as possible, and hopefully we're staying on target date for that closing.
We hope you enjoyed watching All Things Real Estate and More with Ann-Riley Caldwell. To learn more about Ann-Riley, or for your real estate needs, visit notyourordinaryagent.com or call 615-930-0313. Thanks for watching.